Imagine a pirate so powerful that entire governments were forced to surrender, not after a final battle, not after capturing her fleet, but simply because they had no other choice. No prison. No execution. No humiliating defeat. This is not a myth, and this is not exaggerated folklore. This actually happened. Her name was Zheng Yi Sao, and she is considered by many historians to be the most powerful pirate in recorded human history. More powerful than Blackbeard, more successful than any pirate captain you've ever heard of. And the most shocking part? She didn't win through chaos or brute violence. She won through intelligence, discipline, and absolute control. Zheng Yi Sao was born in 1775 in China, during the Qing Dynasty. History doesn't remember her birth name, her family, or her childhood in detail. What we do know is that she did not come from power. She did not inherit wealth, ships, or influence. As a young woman, she worked on a floating brothel in Canton, a harsh and vulnerable environment where survival depended on reading people quickly and understanding power dynamics even faster. It was here that she developed the most important skill of her life, understanding how people think. In 1801, her life changed completely when she caught the attention of Zheng Yi, one of the most feared pirate commanders in the South China Sea. He controlled a large fleet and had influence over multiple pirate groups. When he proposed marriage, Zheng Yi Sao didn't accept immediately. Instead, she negotiated. She demanded to share power. She demanded influence in decision-making. She demanded respect. This was unheard of not just in pirate culture, but in Chinese society at the time. A woman demanding authority over violent men was almost unthinkable. Yet Zheng Yi accepted her terms. From the moment they married, Zheng Yi Sao did not behave like a silent wife. She observed everything. She studied how pirates were motivated by fear, greed, loyalty, and opportunity. She watched alliances form and collapse. She learned who followed orders and who waited for weakness. Then, in 1807, Zheng Yi died during a storm at sea. This moment should have ended everything. Pirate fleets were unstable by nature, and leadership almost never passed to a widow, especially a woman. Rivals believed the fleet would break apart in weeks. But Zheng Yi Sao acted faster than anyone expected. She didn't try to seize power through violence. Instead, she formed a strategic alliance with Zheng Yi's adopted son, Cheng Putsai, a respected commander within the fleet. Through intelligence, negotiation, and influence, she secured loyalty before opposition could organize. Within months, she controlled the entire pirate confederation. What followed was something no pirate world had ever seen. Zheng Yi Sao reorganized the fleet into a structured military force known as the Red Flag Fleet. At its peak, it consisted of more than 1,800 ships and 80,000 pirates. To put this into perspective, most famous pirates commanded fewer than 300 men. Her real power came from discipline. She introduced a strict code of laws that applied to everyone, regardless of rank. Disobeying orders was punishable by execution. Stealing from the collective loot meant death. Desertion was not tolerated. Captured civilians were to be registered and protected. Female prisoners were not to be abused. Rape was punishable by immediate execution. This level of structure was unheard of in pirate society. And it worked. Her pirates were no longer just criminals, they were soldiers. Loyalty wasn't optional. It was enforced. Order replaced chaos, and success followed. Under her leadership, the South China Sea became effectively untouchable. Merchant ships paid protection fees rather than risk destruction. Coastal towns feared her name. Trade routes bent around her influence. The Qing Dynasty, desperate to regain control, launched multiple naval attacks. They failed. The Portuguese navy attempted to challenge her fleet. They failed. Finally, the British Empire, one of the most powerful naval forces in history, stepped in. They failed. Zheng Yi Sao didn't need to defeat them in massive open-sea battles. She controlled supply lines, used superior numbers, and forced enemies into exhaustion. Economies suffered. Coastal trade collapsed. The cost of fighting her grew too high. Eventually, the Chinese government realized the truth. She could not be defeated. So they did something unprecedented. They negotiated. In 1810, Zheng Yi Sao walked into official negotiations not as a captured criminal, not in chains, but as a figure of authority. She agreed to retire from piracy under conditions that shocked the world. She demanded full amnesty for herself. She demanded forgiveness for her pirates. She demanded the right to keep her wealth. She demanded dignity and safety. The government accepted every term. Let that sink in. A pirate forced a government to surrender politically. Most pirates met the same end: execution, betrayal, or a violent death at sea. Zheng Yi Sao walked away richer, free, and respected. After retiring, she married Chung Putsai, opened a successful gambling business, and lived comfortably for decades. She died peacefully at the age of 69. A fate almost no pirate ever experienced. Her story is not just a pirate story. It is a lesson in power. She proved that authority doesn't come from strength alone. It comes from structure, intelligence, and understanding human behavior. She ruled criminals without chaos, commanded loyalty without mercy, and defeated empires without fighting them directly. Zheng Yi Sao didn't conquer the seas with a sword. She conquered them with her mind.